All right, we got a poll up. Sorry, I was just doing that real quick. Energy wise, energy wise, we have a good one. We have a good one tonight. Whoever stops in here gets a treat. I can guarantee you that I'm gonna be clipping this up for sure. That's a guarantee. I know it's a little late. Um, that's my bad. It's my bad and it's my good. Um, I decided to cut my hair, make the pick, first one in from the stream team. I decided to cut my hair. Happy Sunday, everyone. I don't know who the everyone is, but hopefully, everyone does come in and we'll have some. I got some, as the title indicates in the thumbnail. This one hits different. 83, Stream Night 83. We'll get some people in here and we'll figure it out. All we need is a handful, and that's enough to get it going. What was I? I was just doing something and I forgot. My weekend, make the pick, I'd say eventful. The temperatures did bounce back, but I'm still having this issue with my lawnmower. I'm trying to work through how could I fix it. Essentially, what's happening is the impact of the solenoid that starts the initial turn of the engine gear. There's a lot of friction there that is causing the screw to kind of. Why is tonight personal? It's 83. I'm an 83 baby. Day walk. What's up? What's up, man? It's for you, Day walk. Before we go any further, let's be friends. I'm an 83 baby, and I've lived my life through the concept of 1983. And it's hard to, your mom was born in 83. Yeah, it's hard to live through the concept aside from the year that you were born. And I've heard the year come up so many times. I don't think about 84. I don't think about 82. I was born in 1983. So that's why I'll make the pick. I hope that's a good enough reason. let me explore this color change. I might mess this up, but okay. That works better with the shirt because it was tripping me out for a second. All right, we do have a poll. Did your path to success look like you expected as a teenager? That one was straight from ChatGPT. I tried and it wasn't working with me. So not even close, somewhat pretty close, and still figuring it out. We did have a stream about 2.5 hours ago. I think I ended this. No, a little bit longer. Yeah, so I'd say 3 hours ago, I did a stream outdoors. That one went really well. It was fun. We had a lot of trolls and a variety of comments and questions. It was like the first time. I think it was my. Hey, Katie. Katie was there. Katie was in the kitchen doing her thing, but she was there. And we had a really good stream. Um, on the stream, I realized that I present my hobo chic so much that I decided to cut my hair and clean up, and that is what I have tonight. I have cleaned up a little bit, and CJ decided, I don't know if CJ will join, but he was like, "Are you home? Are you actually really homeless? Are you letting us?" So it's not that I put much into that. I'm totally fine either way. But every now and then, it's time. So I reach my cap, and I spent, some time grooming. So let's just see. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Katie. Man, when I'm cutting, I mean the hair is not, it's not thin. It's thin, but it's just the texture. The follicles are still there. I still have a good amount. I used to have very thick, dense hair, and the hair is a lot of follicles, but it's just not thick anymore. The texture changed. So it's little light. You start thinking, is this the last haircut? Is this the last cut? So I don't mind going longer, and then I get happy when I cut it, and then you see all the hair. And you're like, okay, there was a good amount of hair there. Yeah, it's that getting old. Apparently, Daywalk said that his mom was also born in '83. So I'm an '83 baby. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, well, people will come in. I think you guys, my core, you deserve the good treatment. I didn't think too hard. We're not at the point where we're doing eloquent segments. Let me just change the scrolling text because it'll trip me out if I keep seeing 82, even though I just ignore the scrolling text, but I'll see 82. Um, so I didn't think too hard. My mind space was more so about the journey. There was something, a couple things on the stream from earlier that was said that just made me think of, I guess my feedback just made me think of like just journeys and being misunderstood. And I'm not just speaking from a personal standpoint, but journey, we're always on some sort of a journey or ignoring the fact that we're on a journey. And I just started thinking about my journey, and then knowing it was 83, and I just wanted to share. I wanted to share with you guys, and I don't know if I want to be more personal yet. The year is personal, so obviously seeing 83 makes me just really express to my life and say, man, I got so much to say about it. But I'm, bear with me. Carry along. If you got any questions or want to contribute something, by all means. I'm definitely willing to. You know how I love to interact with the chat. Katie did give me a compliment today that I do appreciate. Make the pick. She saw that the chat was very I don't know the word to use. They weren't being aggressive, but it was a lot of chatting. It was chatty, and she was busy, so she kind of asked like, "Hey, do you need? I'm doing something, but if you need something, let me know." And I was totally fine. I just don't even. It wasn't even overwhelming. It made the stream for me, and she gave me a compliment about seeming like I was able to handle that pretty well. That I'm doing a good job of handling that. So we know. And then she mentioned that we were on vertical, so we don't know what to expect when we go vertical, but we do it. The catch there is we're not there yet. That if we go horizontal on the mobile stream, I don't have much confidence that. So, for instance, that stream earned 5 subscribers. I haven't done that in a good amount of time. where 5 subscribers came from one live stream, and it was 300 views. That's pretty high for me in a mobile setting. I would say like a little bit over 100 is high, so 300 is like super high. But it was a quality stream. I enjoyed it. I didn't clean up as much as I wanted to, like the title indicated, but that was that. Okay, so 83. Um, don't curse in the chat, CJ. I tend to bear all. I want to share my story to let people know they are not alone. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. Katie says she posted a short. I'm gonna catch that tonight. What? What do you mean I got robbed? Look, CJ, I got a cut, man. I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Look at me. Look at me. Yeah, CJ, we can't do the language. The trolling is fine, but the language, no. Yeah, no, sometimes we get a cut, man. Sometimes we get a cut. So, CJ, I was just catching up the folks that are in here on 83, and why 83 is different. Make the pick if you're here. I don't think the his sound is there. I figured that out. Another silly mistake that I've probably been dealing with for a couple weeks. Sorry for caring about you. Darn. So let's go through. Let's talk. You know what? Let's just get right into it. So I got a little show and tell, right? So I have this treasure chest, and it's not intentionally a treasure chest. It just happens to be a treasure chest. And when I move, I put a lot of my old stuff that it smells like storage. It's stuff that I need to kind of go through and reorganize. And I just went in there and said, okay, it's 83. I was looking for my Jesse the Body Ventura toy, but I didn't find that. And then I said, oh, okay, I found this little, it was an open box, and it had pictures inside. So I saw a picture. I was like, let me show a picture of me in 83. So I ain't gonna pull it up on the screen, but this is me in 83.
Let me see. Is that you?
This is me. This is me, a full head of hair, right?
That's not you.
That is me.
I don't believe you.
That's me. Well, I think this is in 84, actually. This is one of the oldest pictures that I have. And I have one, this was professionally done. I'm pretty sure it was at Sears. Now, I'm going to show you something that's super cool. Why do you look like Michael Jackson? I'm going to show you something that's super cool about this picture. And, like, my son just came down. He's supposed to be going to sleep, but it is okay. He can hang out for a little while. There's something about this picture that I don't know how many lifetimes people have to live, but to connect some of these dots. Do you see the sneakers that I'm wearing in this picture? You see the sneakers? Yeah, come on the stream. You see the sneakers that I'm wearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't see the
So I'm wearing, I know it's a little hard to see. If I go super close, the lighting is just gonna reflect all crazy. But you see those sneakers? Look at this.
Wait.
Look at
can
this.
I match it? These are black.
No, it's navy blue. So I actually still have my first pair of Nikes
Why is it
that
so
I'm
hard?
wearing. I know it's hard. He said, why is it so hard? So they haven't been properly stored. But when I think about my look how dirty the laces are, man.
Why did I touch that?
Dude, this is oh, be real. He goes, I remember that pic. Due to Billie Jean, he wearing some white socks. Yeah. King, CJ, stop cursing, man. So yeah, look at this. These in this picture, I am wearing these, man. So like, can you imagine having like this is probably outside of a newborn photo, this is the earliest photo that I remember. Like not I don't remember being there, but it was always on my wall. We had the big we CJ, I'll send you a real close up of these if you want. I mean, look, the bottom side, it still has ridges in it, man. It's just a little hard. They don't really bend. I think my aunt Terry got these. And they actually had laces. So,
This is
most
for somebody that
well,
can't go
most
to.
most sneakers this age, they don't have laces. So
They have Velcro.
he goes, "What are those? They're Nike running shoes." I was
Running?
yeah, these are
Can I see the picture?
yeah. So
That's black.
yeah, this is like my first memory of like on the wall in my house, and I didn't know I traveled with these things, but I did, and I've always had them, and it's like really cool for my
How did you grow
son
so much
who
hair?
wants to not go to sleep, for my son to be understanding that this picture
Did you play baseball?
is connected. I was not. I was less than 1 year old in that picture.
But
Okay. Upstairs.
Can I keep
Upstairs. I have. Trust me. I have upstairs. Sleep. So yeah. So that's the that's the first part of the show and tell. Be real says, "Wow, bro. Yeah, man. Um, that's old stuff. My son is less than 10. He's right. He's right at the age less than 10. Um, yeah, but this keeps you young. This keeps you jovial and um, when I think about the whole journey and now having children of my own, you think through like you've gone through so many different bumps and hurdles and Wednesdays and Fridays, and your job was to figure it out, all the tears, all the uh it didn't keep them shoes young. No, these shoes don't look young. I mean, if I were famous, I would assume that it wouldn't matter, right? I mean, the story's there. I have the I have a whole set of these pictures. This is like a little wallet size, but my mom always has like the big one in the house. We did it at Sears. Shadow Black would know. Right down the block from me, it was a nice big Sears, and yeah, me and my sister we have photos like that together. Uh, so that's that. And then I was just looking for something else, and just from a sentimental side, I have this like really old, what do you call this again? Ashtray. And this is the ashtray that was in my house. I don't know whether someone molded this or purchased this. Man, that's crazy. It still has cat hair in it. Wow. That's nuts. I had a cat growing up. My cat was 19, and my cat passed at 19, and then I had another cat, and that cat passed at like 18. And wow, I still have like inside of here, there's literally still cat hair. And I don't keep a lot of this stuff, and no one smoked in my house, but this is like the older times where people would come to your house and they would smoke in your living room, and you had an ashtray just to support the people who would come smoke in your house. Like, where they do that at? I today have no ashtray, and no one will be smoking inside of my house. But those were the days. And I mean, so my grandfather would have used this ashtray. So I've always seen things like that, like the passing of the times, right? Like, it seems like just a hunk of, and it's pretty solid. It's pretty heavy, but this same ashtray has so much historical value, sentimental value to me, and the stories that surround that. Just telling my children and letting them in on what that is, it links them to that. You have no ash. Did you have ashtrays, Katie? Did you have ashtrays back way back when in your house? And anyone else? Did you have ashtrays in your house? Because that's at least here in New York. Um, it was a long time ago that they kind of banned, like, from commercial businesses smoking inside restaurants. So I just think less people understand what it was like to have smoke just blowing everywhere, or being inside at a restaurant and people just smoking near the food. That was like that was an experience. And for a while, when I would still go to the South and make it to the South, we would go to like Shoney's. And that was one of the things that I remembered, because we had kind of, we had always, that Tom's dad was a smoker. We had kind of kicked the, just being from New York, it started to change. And you couldn't smoke X amount of feet near a school. And there's all these different rules. And what was I saying? Oh, I just had a brain fart. I didn't have brain farts in '83. Oh, I was saying that I went, when we would go down south, like just to visit family. We'd always go to like Shoney's or some sort of breakfast spot. And I remember seeing a lady where the buffet was at, and she was smoking and tapping the ashes, and everything was pretty much going to the most popular part where like the bacon and the scrambled eggs and the grits were. And she was just blowing the smoke, didn't care if it was kids there or whatever. It was just like the most important thing for her was to sit in there and smoke. That's to each his own, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so um that's that. I don't have any more show and tell. I thought it would be cool to do that. It seems like that was a good idea, for starters. And Sunday nights sometimes we don't get a big crowd, but that's all good. We'll get through this. To watch video today on the habits in restaurants in the '80s, it's crazy how times have changed. Yeah, times have changed. They have changed a whole lot. Um, so I think '83 is a popular year, and so I started not too long before I started the stream. I started saying, okay, it's a popular year, but let's put proof to it. Let's really understand why I'm so into the year that I grew up. Just reading off the poll real quick. Oh, I didn't see Julie Riel come in. Oh, she said, "Oh, thank you." Um, thanks, Katie. So this thing in my head, I never really researched it. Just looking good. Thank you, Jaja. I haven't seen you in a few, man. You was 13. Okay, okay. Oh, okay. So I said, let me do some, I don't know if I call it research. All I did was Google. You could literally see what I Googled. Top 10 things 1983 is known for. So we'll go first with the AI version, right? So Return of the Jedi was released. Michael Jackson's Thriller. Now that is awesome. That I'm a Thriller baby. Like, and I remember I have early memories of, because my sister danced, and I have early memories of learning the Thriller dance when he hit the uh uh and then yeah, like that's some of my early memories. So that I didn't even realize that that was in the year that I was born. So by the time I'm watching it and learning the Thriller dance at 2, 3 years old, uh, yeah, that it's already been a few years. Okay, so we got Cold War tension. Um, I didn't know anything about that. Look at this, and to me, I gotta go full mass. To me, this explains a lot about me, who I am, and how I think. Literally, number 4 here, the birth of the internet. 1983. The birth. The birth of the internet. Come on, peoples. This year is special. Look at this. Look at this. Thank you, Be Real. Thanks for the shout out there. Look at this. The first mobile phone call. Come on, peoples. Come on. 1983. The 19 1983. Come on. All of this happened. Freaking Thriller, the internet, the first phone call. This is all inside of me. I was destined for this. Well, no. I know what you're saying, Katie. I could read it if you want, but this is ARPANET, and it says on January 1st, 83, the ARPANET officially switched to the TCP/IP protocol. Right? This is the protocol does not mean that we're using personal computers at that time. Be Real says a lot went down that year, but this is the foundation. We still, to this day, use TCP/IP protocol. This is the foundation of the modern internet. It's all based on this. And this happened in 1983. Ready or not. I haven't upgraded my sounds, so bear with me. It's going to be a lot of ready or not tonight. And if Miami joins, there's a person. Oh, hey, Don. There's a person who a YouTuber named Miami. She is in a nursing home. She's come into the chat a few times and says she just hangs out for a little while. and she's in a nursing home. And I did make a sound for her, but I'm not gonna play it until I see her or if I get impatient. Okay, moving on. Number 6, MTV and the second British invasion. MTV, come on, guys. Yeah, Dawn. Dawn, how have you been? I MTV, the internet thriller MTV. I should be a super arrogant person. That's not who I am. Uh this Prince thing just caught my eye. Okay, I don't want to talk about the day after and the TV movie the day after aired created massive public concern about nuclear war. Man, and look at this. The Apple Lisa. Man, and computing advancements. Apple released Lisa, one of the first personal computers with a GUI, a graphical user interface. Yeah, well, yes, this is absolutely only playing music. Dawn says she was 17, so we got 17 and 13. Remember it all was moving to Hawaii. Look at this next one. So the Apple Lisa, this is the foundation of Apple, Macintosh. This is it. This is the beginning. Um, Number 9, Microsoft Word. Wow. If I were a tattoo person, I would be marked up with a lot of this stuff. And somebody would be able to translate that into 1983. Um, Man, this last one on here, this is just the Chat GPT. We'll go further. But this last one, the Cabbage Patch Kids. Oh man, the launch of the Cabbage Patch Kids. I don't think we were able to get the Cabbage Patch Kids that first year, cause we had some really nappy. The dolls we had, the comb wasn't going through. That's all I remember. Be Real, yeah, Be Real is a old school Apple fan. He been giving his money to them for a long time.
It ain't my fault you're not subscribed.
Youth, yo, a long time. Yeah, Nappy, those dolls, man. The Cabbage Patch Kids. I don't know if that's the reason. I don't think the reason why I didn't have them was because of them selling out. I think my mother was not trying to pay that money. I don't know about time to turn things upside down. I am clear on being born in 83. Tonight is day number 83. Stream night 83. And I'm going through 1983. You try what you gotta try, but I don't think you will succeed. Ready or not. Okay, so that's that. And then I clicked on this one. I didn't really like it. Your mom made one for you. You still have it. Wow. Wow, Don, I was showing the group that gotta put your full mask. Okay. I was showing the group, it's kinda hard to see, but this is a picture of me, and right maybe 20 minutes before I got on the stream, this is what you're gonna have to give me some details, because I just went through. You're kind of late, sir. I just went through, and I'm not sure you're beating Thriller, MTV, the first phone call, the creation of the internet, the creation of Microsoft Word. I'm not sure you're beating that stuff. Yeah, no, I absolutely had an afro. So I was showing this picture, And what's interesting about this picture, Don and Yuffie, is that in the same treasure chest that I went in, I have the sneakers that I was wearing in this picture. I know the lighting is crazy, but these are the sneakers. These are my first Nikes. So I just wanted to do a little show and tell with that. And then I did present Jerry. Yeah, my mom has some Jerry curls for sure. And then I presented an ashtray. This is my home's ashtray. No one in my house smoked, but back in those days, you had to have an ashtray because the chances of someone coming to your house and smoking were really high. So I had this in the same chest, and then I started looking inside. You can't see. And of course, to someone else, this is like pretty disgusting. I have freaking cat hair in here from my cats growing up. And man, I haven't thought about or seen that in a very long time. Don't are you asking about the Yeah, this is some heavy this is heavy ceramic. I don't know if this was made by someone in the family. I'd have to ask my mom or if this was just purchased like that. But I just remember like everyone who would come to the house, they would smoke and they would ask for the ashtray. We would keep it underneath the coffee table and then, put it on top when they come. But we didn't smoke. Smoking was super popular. '82 first commercial player. I don't know what a commercial player is, but I don't think you could beat the internet that you're on, sir. And in the first phone call that everyone uses, it's kind of hard. Okay. Okay. I'm looking at this link. Wow. I don't even want to tell you guys. This this is crazy. Oh, CD player. Great. The internet, sir. I'm tired of telling you. The first phone call, sir. Yeah, I'm looking at a lot. There's just so much about 83. I mean, it's definitely it's who it is, right? It's me. So I wasn't here for 82. So I don't identify with 82. I don't identify with 84. I've grown up always thinking about 83 and just feeling like the birth of me was a special year. And I've never done like that research or held on to that. It's just, I'm saying you've had things printed in your head for a long time. And that was one of the first things that I've printed in my head. When you're growing up in school, you write your date of birth till this day. I write my date of birth to do a lot. So that's why I'm identifying Yuffie with that. And it's just cool to just see, what life was like and remembering those things. But Thriller, come on. There was a link, though, that I was trying to check out. And thanks for coming in, guys. Let me see. We got 7 votes on the poll. That is cool. Oh, we have a Medium. Oh, that's just a Medium article. There's a Medium. I'll show it. I don't know if I want to sign back up to Medium to. Pretty sure I could just sign in. This is someone's content. 7-minute read. saying why 1983 was the best year in 80s music. I can't I can't go there. I would have to do more research to go there. But yeah, 83, we've been on there for 83 days. The other thought that I've been having, um, I think he had 3 albums before Thriller. He had 2 albums that no one really remembers. Yeah, and then he had his first real hit album was Off the Wall. But the albums before that, Michael was struggling to. I think we had looked at it a while back. I think Michael, the previous albums to Off the Wall. Oh yeah, Prince is from Minnesota. Yep, yep. The is quick question, Katie. Is Lake Minnetonka in Minnesota? Prince says that that thing he wants to bathe in the water of Lake Minnetonka. I feel like that's. Let me look it up real quick. But I tell my kids that all the time, and they kind of tease me about it. Like we go back and forth. Who's from the Bronx? The Bronx is not the world. It's not the world. I don't even know how to spell this. Okay. There we go. Chappelle said it. Chappelle said that, sir. And that was from Prince saying it. So here we go. Lake Minnetonka is in Minnesota. So I tell my kids all the time about that I got water from this lake. Not all the time, but we joke about it. And I've heard this popularized through Dave Chappelle's Prince skit, but yeah, Minnesota, cool. One of my bucket list places. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so I mean, I don't think I had too much. It was let's just have this real love for the 80s and going back to 83. Oh, I know what I was saying. Um this thought that I've been having of late. It's a gory. I don't know if it's gory, but you guys. No, I don't hate on the Bronx. I love the Bronx. It's just that people from when I left the city, not even this time, just when I went to college, I got a third party view of how what people think of the city folk, the Bronx folk, and what they think of themselves. And there's like a conflict there. Oh, because I got a haircut. Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't know what that means. So I've been thinking this thought about my grandmother. And, the reason that I'm able to be here is because of my grandmother having my mother, right? And I've done a lot of ancestry, genealogy research. I go on and off. I'll have, let's see what draws me back to it. Have you guys ever done ancestry, like genealogy? Don't you, Katie? No, I'm not acting brand new. I'm acting how I've acted on the internet for the past 82 days. So if you've been here a handful of days, you may not know how I conduct the stream. But I'm glad you're here. I'm not out here throwing up my exit. Lean back. Every time we do something, that's just not what I do, sir. Sorry. This is from the Bronx. If you, this was from the Bronx. This probably came from Caldors, or actually at the time it was Alexander. Yeah, Mall of America, absolutely. Yep. Katie said she did some genealogy. Katie, what were you looking? What were you looking for? What was the intent? Bro, it's not like my skin is glowing. I'm like fresh out the shower. The shoes look edible, right? They look like a cake. It's like real mud on here. I'm actually surprised that this has a little bit of grip on it. They don't really bend much. The fabric, it feels how they should feel. It's like an old running sneaker. Yeah, I don't know why he's talking about edible shoes. But Katie, make the pick. Have you done any genealogy? Youth, have you done any genealogy? I'll just assume yes, you have. Your Indian heritage, is that American Indian, First Nation people, or you mean going back to India? So, I think one of the things that I've been thinking about is depending on the year that you were born, you have a high probability of living long enough. Okay, cool, American. Living long enough so that you kind of cross into the next century, right? There's nothing bigger than having separation when it comes to development and years and how we think of things. It said, I'm Bronx. Youth is Bronx. Youth of Bronx, the Duke of Bronx. Yeah, so if I'm an 80s baby, as I am, it would have been really not realistic for me not to cross over into the 2000s, but at the same time, I'm likely not going to have children in the prior to 2000. So some have, some 80s babies have children prior to 2000, not knocking them. But people tend to hold on to the years that they were born, and they don't go too many years prior to that. So like right now, my children, the 80s are further from them than I would say the 50s were to me in the 80s. And I rationalize that because we were in the same century, right? So I think about my grandmother, who actually did make it into the 2000s. She passed in the 2010s, and she was born in 1929, right? So based on life expectancy, a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, the people that were born the last 10 years have a very low probability to see a different century. Extremely low probability. I would say half of them won't see the next century. So it just, and not sitting there like on a high horse from being like a lucky person. And I've never really thought this, because it wasn't until I see my kids who think that the 80s were 100 years ago, because that's the way it feels to them when you say it. But I realized that I only had a small chunk of the last century, and already I have more in this century, right? So you may be able to have, I'm not saying who goes when. Obviously we all got to go. What did I think it was Alan Watts. He said no one's figured how to get out of life alive. No one's figured that one out yet. There's some comedy in the middle of his deep psychology, but yeah, we haven't figured out how to get out of life alive. So it'd be nice to span a good amount of years so that just culturally, you're able to be a part of all these different things. Like for us, me being 81 and 83 and seeing that ARPANET and the internet started on January 1st, 1983, and to be in an era when AI is pretty much taking over and people don't value going on the internet for themselves to do tasks for themselves, all of us are going to live in an era. We are living in an era where things are evolving, but we were actually here from the seed of it, right? So there is something to be said about that. They should put us in the history books. We are in the history books. I don't know if anybody's going to read the history books, or if AI is just going to translate them through an Audible. But yeah, I was just looking at that and just thinking about that. I have found a lot of interesting things in my genealogy, and I try to go back as far as I can and kind of unlock these different things that, like, questions that I have. And I do it in a way where, yeah, I want to use the internet, but I know that there's somewhat of a gap there, and I'm just learning history at the same time. But my grandmother is one of the more intriguing questions that I have to figure out. So I was just thinking about her, just being born in 29. We're what will we be, 97 years. Yes, I know how to prepare for this next change, or trying to prepare. Are you saying like AI? Yeah, and I don't know if I'm speaking to the preparation part as much as, like, things have gone away that we used to do, and it started at some point and it ended, and we're still here to tell the story. We may have to transition further left, further right. We don't know what that story holds. There may be an invention that is similar to the internet that doesn't involve AI, because there was one of the creators of ARPANET actually was working on a 2.0 version of the internet that was more privacy conscious, and just fixing some of the lingering issues. And this gets a little technical, but the foundation of it's like when you think about, I remember my cousin said to me one day, we were talking through ideas like, little websites and apps. And he said, no, what we need to do is we need to build the internet, the second version of the internet. And I'm like, that boy crazy. That boy crazy. Yeah, the labor force is going to transition, but the labor force is always transition. I'm more concerned of whether or not there will be jobs for people, or have the big bosses of the world convince themselves that they don't need the size of the labor force. Then that'll be a different problem. We'll have to figure out what to do as people. Um, but creativity could find its way through, and we just kind of have to figure that out. But my cousin was saying, uh, let's create another internet. And I'm like, bro, like you don't understand that we barely could put food in the fridge. And my response to him was just he needs to have more understanding and respect for the foundation of how the internet actually functions today, and all of the people, like, all of what we do on the internet is made possible because the infrastructure is there. Without the infrastructure, starting with the hardware, right? There are cables that are spanning the ocean. Katie says, that is what I am afraid of, shrink the labor force. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Um, I'm not afraid. If you're doing the right thing right now. So I would say I would be afraid if I were not a person open-minded enough like you to see the writings on the wall and try something. And that trying is worth it. It's not AI hiring us, right? And maybe that'll change, but it's a human, and it requires human signature, and what you're doing, a human reasons with. So if we're in a different day, it's still us making a decision about how we want these things to integrate. Look at it this way. We already have the technology. They have had the technology. They have done demonstrations like the Boston Dynamics company. They've done demonstrations of all types of police, military outfit like robots. The reason why those robots are not patrolling our streets is because that would cause mass panic publicly, and we would then knock on the doors of politicians and find if there are no laws, we would then produce bills that will turn into laws fast, because that just obviously doesn't make sense to us. And even though it doesn't make sense, it still does not stop Boston Dynamics from continuing to build and push their agenda, their business. So it's us who makes the decision. And I'm not against Boston Dynamics by no means, but you would have to conclude that if we wanted the technology of robots that are policing our streets, like the police dog ones we see, the ones that you can't knock them over and they just run everywhere. If we wanted that, there's nothing that stops that but an invoice. They can call Boston Dynamics today and say, "Hey, we want to order 100 dog fighters." Right? The technology's already there. We've had that technology pre this AI boom. It only improves with AI. So it's still humans that are able to make these decisions. So there's no one else to really blame but us, who aren't raising the flags to say this works or this doesn't work. This is the gap. We don't want, or this is the constraint. We want to have technology. but we don't want to cross that privacy line. It's up to us. So I would not really worry any more so than people not being willing to vote in their midterm elections and not being willing to vote in their, locally, so that they can understand and control the things that are around them that affect everyone. One of my favorite political podcasts, and I'm not going to get political. I just want to say something that makes so much sense that helped me to be more involved and engaged politically. She said, I don't care if the proposition on the back is for the dog catcher or is for the janitor. If you're not in the game, and this is now my words, then you're not contributing. People always need hot dogs. I don't know if so let's do that then, Mick the Pig. People always need hot dogs. Where you getting the meat from when things ain't gonna be the way you want them to be? Where you getting the hot dogs from? What if, and this is walk with me now. The memory chips and the hard drives, the memory chips and the hard drives, I haven't seen much videos since the date earlier this month came that the prices were supposed to go up. Right? No, I got you, Mick the Pig, because you got to think about this for the hot dog stand. These businesses put our habits and our leisure at risk because they thought it wise to not sell to the public sector anymore, right? So the disc, I forgot which company. I want to say it was Western Digital. They are strictly selling to private entities where AI needs all this data, right? What stops a producer of hot dogs or the products that go into the hot dogs? What stops them from saying they don't want to streamline this business to the public sector, and there's a government that is paying a lot of money to distribute these hot dogs? We would prefer to sell those hot dogs to the government than to sell them to you. What do you do then, Mick the Pig? Or anyone else who kind of gets where I'm going? Your product is solely based on these other factors that have to work. The distribution has to be there. What if your hot dogs is on a freaking ship in the Strait of Hormuz? What do you do? Mick the Pig wants me to say this out loud. He goes, the answer is, I guess I gotta pivot to sausage. Oh man, that's funny. Wow. He said, I guess I gotta pivot to sausage.
Ready or not.
But see, here's the thing, and I'm not. I actually don't think your answer is as comical as it could be real. I wanted you to realize that you have to, in order for you to have the best hot dogs or sausages, why aren't you raising the meat? See, you got me. Why aren't you raising the inputs? I don't want to say raising the meat again. and I'm looking straight at the camera. Why aren't you raising the inputs? So there's a guy that I watch, Billy, on he's in North Carolina, and I've seen him show how to make sausage. He's really good at cutting up the pig, and he makes bacon. And I think where I'm going is one of the issues is we are price gouged because of the supply chain, and the supply chain hits us in many ways. Egg prices can go up because the supply of something that goes into the feed goes up. Not that it's harder to raise chickens, not because of bird flu. The prices can go up. In fact, Tractor Supply and their main brand that they were selling chicken feed is called Producer's Pride. And they switched up their recipe. And this is during COVID. And many people came to social media saying that their hens were no longer laying. Yeah, oh, please don't eat your pig, Katie. Unless you got me wanting to play this. Unless I actually had this unless audio. That's crazy that I said that. It was from The Wiz. It was Richard Pryor. Yeah, I wouldn't eat my pet pig either. So yeah, I think Nick the Pick, I'm just saying we got to figure out the supply chain and be in better control, and it might mean that I remember this. I'll just for now, just because it sounds cool, I'll call this guy a smart salesman. He actually passed away, um, and we were working at a company together. I was consulting, doing some technology stuff at the company, and he was adamant about um yeah, farmers were mad about the feed. He was adamant about the business that we were working at. They were finally. I'm gonna have a vertical horizontal conversation that doesn't include why I'm not getting views on on YouTube. He was adamant about the business that we were working at wanted to go horizontal too fast. They were scaling horizontally too fast. And why he said too fast is because there's a cost to do business. So if you have something that you offer, and if you think of being in a district that has everything that you need there, and you don't have to get trucks to go move products somewhere. You don't have to have these bigger mail services to ship stuff back and forth. No, you just have a mail carrier. Somebody comes up and the thing gets handed off. You actually have a shorter time to get stuff to potential vendor, or to sell your products to the UPS or FedEx. Um, and I'm not speaking. This is not like a dreamy talk. Like one time I worked in this factory, and I was the so-called manager in the factory. Interesting times, but we had a good relationship with the local UPS. I would say if it weren't for that relationship, we would have disappointed a lot of customers because the timing of the business was a promotional printing business, and most of these things are on a 7 to 10 day run, and you don't know that somebody is or is not advertising the products or need to get those products into onto the next stage. So one day could mean like pretty nice sized lawsuit. But we had strategically, we were near UPS that even when we would be late, say we printed out all, we would do the printing of the labels inside. Well, UPS would double back and do an additional pickup if we needed them to make sure that we can get business out the door. Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley it gets its name from the first boom, pre 83. Pre 83, the first boom was about making the first computer chips, and all the companies that depended on each other and relied on each other, they were in the valley. They were in this one place so that they didn't have to worry about getting stuff to New York and back. And the secondary bubble comes from the offspring of those people who made their life and careers and money in the first bubble. And we're still dealing with Silicon Valley. And why is it important? Well, if you need funding, I remember I was working, not working, I guess I was working with a startup. They wanted to bring me on as a founder, and they were trying to cut me really slim on the amount. But I remember understanding why it was super important for lawyers to understand, because one, lawyers cost so much. You don't have a lot of money in the beginning. So you want to go somewhere, you want to go to a lawyer who gets the business model. If I go to anyone where I live and say, we're not going to be profitable for 7 years, don't worry, give me your money, everything's going to be okay, I'll give you a percentage that's worth nothing until we're profitable. How's that going to work? So the sales guy, I'm going to just do a quick search. How long? Okay, I know I'm not crazy. So look at this real quick. My prompt is, how long did it take Twitter to become profitable? Twitter took approximately 12 years to become profitable. 12 years. And their first profitable quarter was in Q4. 12 years. Somebody invested in this. All this money with burning and churning. And it took 12 years. So the sales guy was saying, there's no reason why we can't do this business vertically. And you don't go horizontal until you've either run out of people. Now it is X. Most people still call this damn thing Twitter. X is probably for the next generation. I have my reserve about the companies that want to reduce things to its as minimal as you can get. Using what's Google's parent entity name? Alphabet. Using the alphabet. no way, shape, or form, when ARPANET started in 1983, could they have envisioned that we would be handing out a domain, one letter, .com. Come on. But anyway, so the sales guy just spoke about, he educated me about going vertically. How does that map to the hot dogs, right? In the future, I speculate that even though we have the internet and we can reach the masses, it may not make sense to. This is what they've sold us this whole time, is that, the internet is going to, it's reaching people, it's scalability. But guess what? You still have a product. Are you getting that product to your customers across the country? Or do you need a service to get it to them? I would think you need a service. I know Shadow Black, we teased about doing a walk. Shadow Black say you're going to do a walk for obesity. I'm going to do a walk and no one's going to show up. But we rely on these services, right? It doesn't matter if you created a product from thin air. Doesn't matter if you sold air, like the guy in the Lorax. If you're going to distribute it horizontally, you absolutely need them. But what if the future is we're able to use the internet, so we're able to use the technologies, and we have a more robust way not to think as horizontal, and we still figure out how to be profitable? What if McThePick wants to do hot dogs and sausages? He wants to make a cart franchise for the food that I agree isn't going anywhere. But he should work out being his own supplier, and I'll tell you why I would go that route. Because you're gonna have a better taste, you're gonna have better quality, it's gonna be more controlled, and then you're gonna have the ability to lease that, maybe not the exact taste, but you're gonna have the ability to lease this to other companies who were already dependent on the chain that will break down. Yeah, thank you, Katie. You try selling online, so hard to do. So I was just telling my wife, I won't tell the whole idea, but I was just telling my wife about something that I thought about. And what people may not realize is a lot of YouTubers, a lot of content creators, Ubiwa Media and I used to talk about this a lot. He's really adamant on this point. A lot of them don't make their real money from actually creating content. They create their money from being influencers. So that's the affiliate, that's the ad deals with the affiliate marketing. But then you take that another step. When they put up those, Amazon links, that thing gets stuck to you for about 30 days. Everything you may buy may go to them because your cookie's being stored. But let's say you're a content creator and like brand deals. So you say you're a content creator, but then you actually have your own product. Can you imagine the difference between you being who you are, like I'm Darnell, and let's say my channel gets up to 5,000 views one day, and people are hearing it's vibrant and the vibes are great, and then I try to sell something, I earn that influence, and that influence pays dividends. That means, Katie, that you won't be on your own trying to sell and figure out how to advertise. What is your advertisement? This. And that's how people use these things. I've purchased stuff from people on here. My pawpaw tree comes from a guy, and I don't think he's doing a bad thing, but how is he able to do that without having the face and the buy-in? And that is what influence actually is. That's when they say you're an influencer. You're able to shift people to do these things, and you could potentially monetize on top of them. So that may not be there one day. We may not have influence. I just think, make the pick, you gotta, I would work on figuring out a business that doesn't rely so much on things that can change. Yeah, that would be my advice. And if it turns you into, partnering with a local farm, so be it. If it's you reinventing the hot dog, so be it. But that's who we're gonna be. That's who we're gonna be. That's my bet, at least. Yeah, that was deep. Man, 12 years to become profitable. I You sold. What is pamp? Let me look that up before I say it. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I get what that is. I never actually heard of that company. But yeah, I mean there's a ton of things that you can do and sell. A lot of the Shopify's of the world, they're making money because they make money because you need a premium solution. So they're not in the business necessarily of you selling, and being successful at selling, as much as YouTube is not in the business of you being a successful content creator. YouTube is in the business of having a lot of people on the platform, that they could serve ads to, that are interested in, that they think are interested based on their profiling of said people, so that the people who publish or produce the ads and services, have people that they could connect with. There's no real difference than the way that we used to sell and this data and information on paper. Katie says it's huge around here, cooking stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I had an old coworker, Mick the Pick actually knew him as well. He was selling wine racks with pallet wood. Um, I think, and I thought it was genius when he was doing it before. I didn't know if it was a big seller for him or anything, but I could see, and I did ask my wife about, one of my favorite creators. I was like, look, if he did this idea, how do you think it would fare? And I was like, I think he would sell at $40 a pop, the item that I was talking about. I think this guy could get 100 sales like in a day or two. I'm almost certain at $40 a pop. So we're looking at real money, real money. Um, But yeah, let's see if we can think local, even from. And Katie, thanks for hanging out. And because sometimes I've been getting a little technical. I think you're open to the technical stuff now. My goal now with going live is to connect with people, not to make money. Thank you, Katie. Thank you so much. And you probably will make money. I gotta check out your channel. Um, I'm gonna put it up on my screen now. Okay, okay. I'm already subscribed. Oh, I wanted to resubscribe. Okay, so yeah, I think going live is cool. It's a good thing. And it doesn't have to be lives, but once you find the audience, once YouTube is willing to support your content, there's an influence that comes along with that, and it's hard not to take it if a guy like the guy I was talking about, if he believes in that, and if he's able to make $4,000 in a day or 2 days, like, I mean, that changes the game, you know. But we don't know how long these platforms are going to be around. We don't know how long these partner programs are going to be open to all of us. If it's going to be free entry to it. I can absolutely see, and I don't see why they haven't done it. My biggest concern with my channel from a data perspective, I didn't realize how much data is being stored for free, right? YouTube stores everything that you're doing as a creator. They're not charging you, especially before you're monetized. There is no, I guess they can make money off of ads before you get in the game, but they have to account for the fact that they're storing your data. They're running analytics in the background. They're running AI against your data. You're not paying them for that. So why wouldn't YouTube just say, you know what? Let's figure out the 2030, because when we get to 2030, I remember about 10 years ago, we were supposed to do microtransactions. We might be in a better world, even though people did not like the idea. Facebook was promoting this. Yeah, I want to say I'm not a creator either, but that's kind of hard. I've been creating. Facebook now limits store. It makes sense. It makes sense, and then it's easy for them to have a premium tier. That kind of plays into what I was about to say. Now, about 10, maybe 15 years ago, there was a microtransaction talk. What that means is, and yeah, this is pre-Bitcoin. This is pre the Bitcoin boom and all of that. They wanted to entertain charging, let's just say, a cent. If you charge everyone a cent to be on the platform, they would still 1 cent. People would still do and have the same behavior, and Facebook would still be able to capitalize on their ad program. But what it would help to pay for and to cover is the cost of all of the data that they're storing for you for free. So in the YouTube space, I mean, and Facebook wasn't even doing videos at the time, right? Like they weren't like a content creation platform. I can upload a 4K video on YouTube That's an hour. Where else am I storing that for free? So why not? Why not? Make the Pick says he remembers that. Yeah, it didn't happen. It didn't happen, the microtransaction, but I think that a defined transaction gives the evidence as to why things should move in the user's direction and not, some trade off that that you don't like or wouldn't like. Oh, you see changes now. You put charges. I read it, and then I said she means changes. It's like Facebook is charging you. Putting out some fake news over here. You got me putting out fake news, Katie. Yeah, no need for 50 subs. So I think that the 50 sub thing is not a barrier. So it's twofold, right? Really think about so the earn tab. We've done this before, but we could definitely, I don't mind doing it again. There isn't anything private on a earn tab other than where you stand, right? So on the earn tab, Katie, I feel like they put a lot of effort into understanding the psychology of people. And the 50 subs, I've heard multiple people. In fact, CJ, who had a potty mouth tonight, CJ came in the chat today talking about that he got to get to 50 so he can live stream. I hope when he live stream, I hope he has some filters. But yeah, he mentioned that now because he wants to hang out, why wouldn't he be motivated to feed, the hungry platform for content? So he's feeding the platform with content. So if you have 0 subscribers, if 0 subscribers, if there is no barrier, then somebody could just take it for granted. It doesn't really mean anything. If you have too little, it's too easy to get. I could call up 10 friends who are never going to show up. I probably have 10 friends that I have told about my channel a couple years ago, and they've never showed up. But at least I have the subscribers, right? 20, I think I'm there. If maybe if I was a little younger and more engaged in people's lives, I think 20. 30 starting to be a stretch. I don't want to reach out to 30 people, but that, if you get on here and you have a good night or two, or maybe people just like the way you look, or they like the way you speak, or maybe your environment. Let me be on vacation and start my stream. Let me be somewhere at a state park and I just say, hey, this is my backyard. Like one time, there's one video. Let me see if I could find it. 'Cause I've actually, and the person should know better, right? It was Shadow Black. He should know better. It was when I was at the farm. So this right here. So Shadow Black claims that there was a moment in this short where he was questioning if this was my like if what's in the background is my property.
It's Thor season.
Like, come on.
Yes.
Come on, man. It's like a 120-acre farm. But let me sit out there during brunch and put that in my background, which I could do. You know, it's open to me. In fact, I used to be a CSA member. We used to walk around like we owned the farm. Um, but he used to say, he said that. They have charges on Facebook. You want to do certain things with your live stream, paying per month. I forgot all the options. Wow. Yeah, I'm not I'm taking it one step at a time, Katie. Be real, aka Shadow Black must have heard me talking about him because he popped back in here. That's the summons. Yeah, Katie, I am really not Facebook knowledgeable about Facebook when it comes to content. I used to have I guess like a business page a while back. I know they had like insights and you could do advertising, but I have no idea. And I'd be willing to, in time, because I actually think that I've seen enough people that the community, that is not all my land. You need to stop. I've seen a lot of people in the garden community who are they have a nice following on Facebook. I just rather catch them here on YouTube. I don't like blending the two. I feel like if every time I go into the Facebook app, somebody knows that I'm there. I'm some activity that's connected to my friends, right? Here it's like people don't know that you're on here unless you are posting, like, going live, posting content. You had to Facebook live stream because you couldn't hear. You already know one of Shadow Black's favorite terms. But yeah, so we was talking to the psychology of this. Like, how can it be equal to have 3,000 watch hours or 3 million shorts views? Three million shorts views, equivalent to 3,000 watch hours, because you don't get them from shorts. It's like this to me. I guess the point I was making, Katie, is that they are actually molding you to be motivated and work harder to get into the space. And it's not a bad thing. Those 50 followers or subscribers. I remember when CJ first came in here, and I think he had less than 10, and he is grinding because the 50 means something. I don't know if he's going to do something with his live. I don't know what that will look like, but I do think that there's a psychology behind that. And then, you only needed, just to put this up again, you need 3,000 watch hours or 3 million shorts views. So those are not even the same person. A person that could get 3 million shorts views is not the same person that could get 3,000 watch hours. Those are not the same person. Absolutely not. So they're just really good at knowing how to train people into this. And I think that that's what that 50 is for, that 50 subscriber. Because if you don't work, you're not going to get that. If you don't post, you're not going to get that. I would find it very hard, because subscribing it's not this way for me. I could care less. I will subscribe. I just press it. And if I ever see something that I disagree with and you popped up, I'll just press it again. I don't see what the problem is, but if you had to choose, what's the hardest thing to do, I would say is getting people to subscribe. Getting people to like something is hard. And that's why everybody goes on robot mode. Like the video, share. I've never shared a video. I don't know who the people are who's sharing videos. I really don't. Because in order to share something, you would have to have a group, a community, something of that to share it to. How would I share something that I come across that is very, I don't want to say I have a random habit, but I know why I watch this thing. I don't have a need to give that to someone else, and I don't think that's ever worked for me. Right? I'll show you. If I ever wanted to share something, right? Let's go and see what my shareables would be. Number one shareable, and I probably could only share it to Mick the Pick, and he probably knows exactly where I'm going with this. Number one shareable. This is what I would share. I have shared this in the past, and I'm still waiting for a response from many people who have not, who don't care about this project. So because I'm not there yet. I'm realizing that I may have to be there. This is the ocean cleanup, by the way. I may have to be there to take, when I'm taking YouTube more serious, it probably is a psychological thing that people don't know. And Mick the Pick knows I've been talking about this thing for a long time, the ocean cleanup. People just don't do the thing that's very obvious. And I know I'm different because even in the shorts, I'll watch a short. I did it today. I watched a short and I swiped away from it. And when I swiped away from it, I realized, oh, you didn't go like it, because liking is, for me, what I thought it meant, and what it is to me is this is my acknowledgement. Now I get it. Times have changed, and you could put it's not even a like, it's a thumbs up now. And a thumbs up could represent many different things. But for me personally, it is my acknowledgement that I checked in the door, I sat down, I watched this, and I appreciated the content that I saw. That is what a like means for me. It is not something that I have to be told to do. Now, when I am told, say I'm on a live stream and a person says that, I do come across in my head and say, yes, I have to like this, because they kind of reminded me. So I'm realizing that it's not always bad, but it is sad that we have to be on robot mode, like and share, and sometimes the creator's not even offering you anything to like, and we're begging. Now you go into a live, like say on a vertical feed, and people put up the question. The question is, have you liked the video already? I don't think that's what that was intended for. Be Real says, I got a boat. We can go clean the ocean cleanup on live stream and bring Mick the... You got a boat to go clean? Oh, you want to just go clean up the beaches and the... Now, if you go check out the project, Be Real, actually, I wouldn't mind showing some of that. And be real, you were right. I did get a copyright claim on that Blazing Saddles the other night. I fixed it though. I don't think if you're willing to fix it, I don't see what the issue is really. I don't know that it doesn't seem like it's dinging me at all. All right. You got a ton of videos. I want to show the latest. Okay, let's see what they have on the popular. Okay. So I mentioned this early on in the streaming journey, but I trust that they're doing good work, noble work. I've been watching them. I really wish I worked at this company. It's kind of a dream. I've watched them instead of having a focused approach on the ocean, which is what this.
So human history is basically a long list of things that couldn't be done, and then were done. When we started, people told us cleaning up the Great Pacific Garbage.
Did that just go black again? There's a technology that they use to make the videos go black. Let me just see if it happens on everyone. It doesn't happen on everyone.
So human history is basically a long
Okay.
list of things that couldn't be done, and then were done. When we started, people told us cleaning up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch would be impossible, and fair enough, it was very difficult, the research and the testing and the iterating, but eventually we got to a solution.
Just so that we could keep this on a fair use basis, hopefully. And if I get a claim, I get a claim. We'll fix that. Watching the people in this room is they're saying this is my dream in a employment capacity where there's a real issue with real people. Yeah, Katie, I don't know why it went black, but I know Netflix does that, and I figured out how to show it on Netflix. I just have to share the screen and not the window, but they have a technology to do that. So you see they have the whole wall. The whole wall is a whiteboard, and they're solving real problems for the world. And I can't get past that I don't see enough companies that are not just focused on money's always going to be involved, right? You need money to do stuff. You need money to pay people. I don't know their relationships with the different governments that they're working through, but I'm 1,000% sure that it's a monetary partnership. So money's going to be a part of it, but what are you helping? In this case, these guys are helping the future of the earth, and really trying to leave behind data that allows for other people to get involved in this process.
The testing and the iterating, but eventually we got to a solution that works, and now we know we can clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
All right, that was a cute video. I say cute because what I wanted to tell you guys is when this started, it was just about the ocean, and since then they've come up with different river systems, and those systems are cool. So those are called the interceptors, and they do hire local people where they are, and they're really focused in like river communities that people have relied on fishing, the fishing industry, and yeah, and I've seen at least the videos. They just look amazing. Okay, of course they're gonna put audio in there that I'm gonna maybe that's from a local artist. We'll see. What did he say? A rock in it? A rock with it. He did say, I could put a rock in it. I could put a block in it. Bounce with it. About the freestyle of it. What it is life actually is. Okay, that was a quick one. All right, let's just look
You
at.
can remove all these bottles from the environment for just $50 every month.
Okay, see, even they have a subscription service. Like, come on, is this the only way to live? Yeah, so these systems are like, yeah, I don't know how much more to say, actually. Yep. Okay, I'm done with the copyright claims, but so they have systems in the ocean, and they have systems on land, and that's what I would share. I would share to people. I wish they shared more. Check out the battle between Macha. When I first read it, I thought it was Be Real saying that. I was super confused. Super confused. I was like, Shadow Black, what are you talking about? Bad River was Wisconsin. Okay. I've seen this guy before. I watched this one before, Katie.
Dig in! Excellent quarters.
Yeah, I was just looking at the thumbnail. I definitely have watched him. I've watched this before.
No such a word as bad, so this Bad River, I don't like the name of it, so I referred to what my prayer yet today as Muskegee Zimi Medicine River, and when he do.
Yeah, going through your land. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I watch a lot of. Going back to, like, I guess we all have different habits, but going back to sharing and putting people onto this, I find that it's hard to come across this stuff. I've been conditioned now not to share. The amount of stuff that I just watch, it hits your heart. I could imagine. Yeah, I watch this type of stuff all the time. Different this one is PBS, but yeah, we just super robotic. But the flip side is you gotta, you have to play the game some, just to get where you need to go. I can't define that for others. I do want to be monetized. Like I say, I want to do it so that I don't have to worry about it any longer. And then when I start making videos from that point on, I could get a return on the investment, because it is an investment. I've not even said that term or that word in a while, but it is an investment. I'm going on 2 hours now. I did an hour and 30 minutes earlier. I thought and prepared and planned I was going to edit a video today. That would have been a 4 or 5 hours worth of content work. So it is an investment. So I would like to get a return on it. That's why I told you when I dropped out of college, I went back because I didn't have a degree, and it is an investment. And what is my return? My return can't be the sad story about having to pay back student loans and not be able to go to jobs and say, hey, this is, my piece of paper. I have something. I need a return on that investment, So I will have to get into like, share, subscribe, because I realize that it may only, just from a psychological standpoint, some people may need to be triggered with that in order to do the action, which in return is actually helping me. And you don't get to choose who comes anyway. So, but I'm sure others may not be that deep with it. It is what it is. We'll wrap up tonight's show. I didn't realize I was on for 2 hours. I'm getting into that danger zone. We don't need it to be 3.5 hours. This might be, and I said it was gonna be a good one. I think I got a lot of stuff to clip. You guys got to put pressure on me to make some shorts of highlights of the lives, because I just see it as extra work, and I'm just more work. But I started recording it so that I can take advantage of it. I would like to help you with that, Katie, if possible. My whole angle is, hockey is the playoffs. That's cool. NBA too. That's cool, Don. I would like to just help produce, not to do anything to change the content, or just partner in providing the best experience and quality that we can get to. So I that's always been my angle on here. I was talking to Brother Eric through the chat. That's what I want to help him out with, because he does have the effort to go live, and just any little tricks that can help, or we could collaborate. That YouTube and algorithm, they love that collaboration. But from a word perspective, you're getting that message out there, and it's reaching the right people. It's reaching the people that the word is for, and for in that moment, or whatever you're talking about. Maybe I should bring my mom on. My mom does she does prayer groups and Bible studies. So, all right, I said goodnight once. I'm still within my goodnight time countdown. I think I get 3 minutes, or we have to count it as another one. It was an awesome show, guys. As Mick the Pick says, W stream. I things are really, we're really there. We're really there, guys. You got to see it. I even get to cut my hair, It really is good. D for the win. Thank you, Be Real. Hey, give me a call after the stream. Good night, guys. I will catch you guys on the next one. Don't be a sucker for love. I think we're going to go out with some, I haven't played this in a while.
Today, we train for the 2030 Winter Olympics. Let's do it.
But here by the fire we defy frost and storm. Ha-ha, we are warm and we have our heart's desire. For here's for good fellows and the beechwood and the bellows, and the cup is at the lip in the pleasant fellowship. Oh, here by the fire we defy frost and storm. Ha-ha, we are warm and we have our heart's desire.
We're going for a
mile walk.
mindfulness walk. We are walking.
Mile walk.
No, are you walking? Are you aware that you are walking?
Yeah.
What are you doing other than walking?
Talking.
So let's think about the fact that we're walking. Are you walking?
Yes. And talking.
Are you distracted? Are you just walking?
I'm talking.
I am walking.
I am talking.
I am walking and
I am talking.
I'm walking.
And I am talking.
I am talking.
And walking.
Oh, got him.